Hello, friends. Happy Wednesday. I'm just going to drop into the comments this title of the video so anybody that jumps on knows what I'm even talking about today. Okay, cool. I also had some trouble connecting to the live, so I don't know if Instagram is having some issues, but hopefully some of you can jump on and watch. I am coming to you live from my bedroom. I even made my bed for you guys. And I'm just cozied up with my blanket and my new shirt that my best friend Maggie got me. It looks like she just jumped on. Hi, Maggie. And I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit today about mindset shifts around diet culture. And the reason that I wanted to do a live is because I've been really struggling with trying to find the words to put this into a simple caption. I've tried like what picture would be best, like trying to write out exactly what I'm trying to say, and it just wasn't coming across how I wanted it to come across. And so I thought it would be better if I just jumped on here and just kind of let it free flow and just talk about what's been like coming up for me lately. I feel like summer is triggering for a lot of people. It's definitely, there's a whole movement on social media about like hot summer bodies and bikini bodies and being bikini body ready. And I'm seeing all of these like really ridiculous diet trends and, just all these different things that are trying to find a solution and a quick fix to a bigger problem. So a lot of people, especially coming out of the last year, possibly weren't as active as they were before. Maybe they're feeling a little uncomfortable in their bodies. Maybe they have gained weight. Maybe they're just not used to wearing regular clothes. I know for me, this is like the first time I've worn regular clothes in a while because, we're mostly at home with two young toddlers. So there's lots of different reasons that can make people feel really uncomfortable in their bodies right now. And the solution that we've been conditioned to seek in society is, how can I lose this weight as fast as possible? Not how can I lose it in a healthy way, or even asking the question, do I need to lose weight to begin with? It's all about having this certain body type, this certain body image, and then how can we get to that end result as quickly as possible? So that's something that I've already been seeing in the last couple of weeks that I've really wanted to touch on, because it really bothers me a lot too, as someone who has had two kids. I don't have the kind of time I used to have to focus on, working out and, definitely not dieting or anything like that. I'm just like go all the time with two young kids. And it made even me feel like, well, I'm not ready to be wearing a bathing suit. I'm not ready to be going to the pool and showing people my body. Like I literally haven't even been thinking about the fact that summer is coming, and now people are gonna be wearing less clothes. You're gonna be wearing shorts, and like, do my shorts even fit me from last year? And for me, it's just, I've been trying to really focus on how I can properly nourish my body and be healthy instead of what I look like. So something that recently came up for me, this is the whole reason that I wanted to talk about this today, was I had a photo shoot done on Sunday, and the photos are going to be for my new website that'll hopefully be ready in July. And also I'll be sharing some of them on social media and for just different projects that I have going on. But I've done many photo shoots in my life, and this is the first photo shoot that I've done where my mindset has been completely different than it ever has been before. So previously, when I was prepping to do a photo shoot, I had a full-on diet routine. I was very, very strict with what I would eat. I was very strict about my workouts. And I mean, at the end of the day, basically what I was doing is I was like starving myself, like, to prepare for this photo shoot, because in my mind, I'm like, I want these photos live forever. I want these to represent me looking my best, right? I want to always be able to use them. I don't want to get pictures of me where I feel or look fat, because then I'm not going to want to use them, and then people will think all these things about me. I mean, there's so many deep, like, seated beliefs and old, like, thought patterns that I had around dieting and photo shoots. But basically it was like that I needed to portray this certain image, that I needed to look this certain way, especially being in like the coaching field, feeling like you have to, look a certain way, be a certain weight, look fit enough, look skinny enough, or else people will look to you and not want to work with you because they'll think, well, if you look like that, how are you going to help me? That's like a whole belief in the coaching field, especially when it pertains to health and fitness. So leading up to photo shoots, I always pretty much, this was like what I would do is I would work out twice a day. I would wake up and I would do cardio, fasted. I would maybe for breakfast have like a smoothie or a protein shake. And then a few hours later for lunch, I would have like a small salad. And when I say small salad, I mean literally like lettuce, maybe some like avocado, a few vegetables, and then like protein. I mean, it was like small. And then after that, I would go for my second workout, which was usually some kind of like strength training or like interval training. And then I would have dinner at like 5 or 6. And it was always like small portion of like some kind of protein, a vegetable, and like maybe some spinach. And like that was all I would eat all day. And then I would go to sleep. And back when I was drinking, I'm 4 years sober now, but back when I was drinking, I would not drink any alcohol during this time because I knew, like, obviously if I want to look my best, I need to cut out all extra sugar, all extra calories. And so I would do this over and over and over again, sometimes for weeks or months at a time, and preparing for photo shoots. And I mean, I always got what I thought was the result that I wanted. So I always ended up looking what I thought was my best. But if you guys want to pop into my stories after this, I'll share some of the pictures that I found of me in one of my photo shoots. It was the smallest I've ever been for a photo shoot. It's not the smallest I've ever been in my adult life, unfortunately, because this was really small. But I think I ended up weighing like 122 pounds, which right now I am like, well, actually I have no idea how much I weigh, but I know that I'm nowhere near that size. Like my normal healthy weight, like when I was weightlifting and doing CrossFit, and the last time I like remember weighing myself, I think I was like around 145, 150. Okay, so 122 is way smaller than that. And so I was super tiny, and I mean, you could just see it like in my face. Like I kind of had that like skeletal face, and you could see like my ribs, and you could see, I mean, like my arms were like, my whole arm was like the size of my wrist. I mean, I was just like really tiny. And for a long time, that was what I thought my ultimate body was. So obviously that wasn't maintainable, right? At some point I started eating more food again and, you know, got back to like a healthier weight after the photo shoot was over. But for years, that was like my goal weight and my goal like body type. And basically if I didn't look like that for years, and I never could get back to that, because what I had to put my body in to get to that point was so damaging and so bad for me that I'm glad I never got back to that point. But it's just unfortunate that I held that standard for so long. And so what happened was, for years I would just, if I didn't look like that, I was so down on myself. I was just constantly dieting, constantly trying new things, constantly starving myself, but then binging because I was so hungry, and then like drinking too much. I mean, it kind of just like, for years I was just on this spiral, right? And so what was different about this photo shoot that I just did on Sunday was I didn't do any of that. And so I planned the photo shoot actually well in advance, because that's how my brain works, right? It's like I need plenty of time to prep for my photo shoot. I need to make sure I look a certain way. I need to make sure I have, well, that just isn't my reality anymore, and that isn't how my brain works anymore, because I've done the work to look at my body differently, to have higher self-esteem, more self-worth. And so I booked this photo shoot well in advance, and it was funny because there were so many like mind games that I played with myself, even though I never actually went to the extreme that I just talked about in prepping for this photo shoot. My mindset still wanted to go back to those old thought patterns. So I still was thinking, oh my gosh, okay, 2 weeks to the photo shoot, like you really need to clean up your diet. Mind you, I have no problems with my diet. I have no problems with how I eat. I feel really great. I pretty much eat what I want, but what I want to eat naturally is super nutrient dense foods, fruits, vegetables, you know, protein, Because I'm eating what feels best for my body, I never feel deprived, and I never feel like I want to binge anything, because I know if I want to have a cookie, I can have a cookie. But at the end of the day, I usually don't want the cookie, right? Because I'm so in tune with how it makes my body feel. But anyways, my mind kept doing this game of like, okay, you've got 2 weeks until the photo shoot, like probably should cut out sugar, or probably should like try to fast and like cut off your eating dinner at a certain time, and you should probably be like working out more. Like all of these thought patterns were going in my head, but I was energetically, it was like not like aligned with where I'm at. And so even though these thought patterns were coming up, it was like I had the awareness around them to recognize it and be like, that just all sounds really exhausting. Like I don't have the time to fixate on what I'm going to look like on the photo shoot, how small I am, what my weight is, how much I've been exercising. Like it even makes me tired right now to think about how much energy I've wasted over the years with that mindset. So even like the day before the photo shoot, we went and we got ice cream with the kids, and I still had this weird thing in my mind of like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't eat this. Like I have a photo shoot tomorrow. And I'm like, it literally doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. Like the photo shoot is tomorrow. Like if you want to eat ice cream, it's not going to make a huge difference between how you look right now and how you're going to look tomorrow, right? And again, because I don't deprive myself, I could eat a few bites of the ice cream and then feel satisfied and walk away from it, versus telling myself like, oh, I can't eat that. And then all I would have wanted to do was eat the whole carton, right? So it's so interesting that when we try to deprive ourselves of things that we really want, how much more we end up wanting them. And so Sunday came, and I still that day felt this weird, like, oh my gosh, I didn't prepare enough. Like, what if I look fat in these pictures? Like, what if my face looked like, I was so worried. Like one of my old like thought patterns and insecurities was like my face, like looking like big, like very round. I was like, what if my face looks really round in these pictures? And they weren't like fitness modeling pictures or anything, so it's not like I was like showing very much of my body. It was like I was wearing like a full outfit. It was just mostly my face that I was mostly concerned about. And it all ended up being fine. And I was just so happy when the photo shoot was over to be like, I didn't just waste weeks and months of my life dieting and starving myself for this photo shoot. Like I lived my life, I did the photo shoot, and now I'm going to continue to live my life, and nothing really is going to change now that it's over. And I've already gotten the pictures back, and they look great. I don't think my face looks fat in them, and there's nothing I am like upset about as far as how I look. And I'm just so glad that I didn't waste all of that energy worrying about it, like actually putting my body through that leading up to it. Well, there was one other thing I was gonna say. Oh, and so the photo shoot I was talking about previously, the one from about 10 years ago, where I was like basically starving myself all day for months leading up to this photo shoot, it reminded me of another one that I just did only a few years ago. So there's one extreme, and then I have my photo shoot from Sunday, and then a couple years ago I had one other photo shoot I wanted to tell you about, where this version of me like thought I was doing things the right way. Like 10 years ago version of me knew that wasn't like ideal, that wasn't healthy. Like I knew I was purposely starving myself for a photo shoot. The me from a few years ago was coaching CrossFit and like lifting and like doing macros and like taking the supplements and like doing all the things. I wasn't like starving myself, but I was almost like trying too hard to be too healthy. And I remember I did do a prep for that photo shoot, and I actually did water manipulation. So this is something that I learned about going through my nutrition certification. But for like bodybuilders and people who do like figure competitions, there's a certain way that you can manipulate your water intake. It's like one of the last things you do. It's usually like the week leading up to your show. But you basically to summarize it very quickly, is like you basically consume a ton of water, like you overhydrate, and then you slowly taper down, and then you basically like super like dehydrate your body. It's very unhealthy. Let's just say that. And but I know that it works. It's actually like there's a science behind it. And so I decided to do that for this photo shoot on top of I think I did like low fat. I was doing like a low fat diet, and then I was like really high on my carbs. Anyways, I was basically doing a modified version of like what a figure competitor would do for a competition. And so I did the photo shoot. It was a fitness photo shoot. So I had like a sports bra on and, leggings, and I was like posing, and I was doing, movements, like weightlifting movements and stuff. Again, if you pop into my stories after this, I'll drop some pictures in so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But same thing. I was like, oh, I look so good and I feel so healthy. And like, do you know that after that photo shoot, it's not really like exhausting to get your picture taken. So I don't want to make it sound like I like did a bunch of stuff and that's why I was exhausted. I was so mentally worn out from the stress of leading up to that photo shoot that I left the photo shoot and just like binged on food. I don't even know if it was because I was hungry. I can't remember like exactly what my thought process was, but I was so just like, it's like I didn't feel good. It's like, okay, I just did all of that. Like I put myself through all of that stress for this photo shoot. Now the photo shoot's over, and it's almost like there was a crash in my energy. Like I felt so good. Was running on this high, and then all of a sudden it was just like, wow, I feel like shit about myself. I feel like shit about everything. Like this doesn't actually change or fix any of the problems I'm having in my life. If anything, it's just making things worse. And so I was just like eating everything. I mean, I think I like stopped and went to like the gas station, which is like gross. They don't have good food there, and got like those bags of like the nuts because I was so deprived and like fat. Like my body was just like starving for dietary fat that I was just like eating handfuls of like walnuts and almonds, which is like sounds weird to be binging on something that can be healthy, but it was like that's how messed up my mind was. My body was so off that I was just like binging what my body really needed, like drinking water, and like I think I ate chips. I have no idea. And I also think I had like a drink, like a cocktail at that point, because that was back when I was still drinking. And it's so many years of doing that really messed with my body, really messed with my mind. And I guess what I just wanted to come on here to let you guys know is like, it doesn't have to be that way. It really doesn't. The amount of energy that you waste thinking about those kinds of things and fixating on your body, like, isn't as important as living your life and doing things that bring you joy. And for me, like eating well does bring me joy, like eating good food and preparing food, cooking, like being in the kitchen brings me joy. So for me, it's a little bit more of a natural progression to be focused on like eating well. But in general, it's like, don't spend another summer worrying about what your body looks like, worrying about what you look like in a bathing suit. Like you don't want to look back and think about all of that wasted energy and time that you spent, right? So I'm just really hoping that I can help give you some perspective, because it was really helpful for me to look back after this photo shoot on Sunday and be like, wow, I have come so far from 10 years ago starving myself, 4 years ago like starving myself basically, and then binging, and then now it's like I can show up for a photo shoot and feel good having eaten well, like, and just feeling so much better about myself and how I look. So I just want you to know that you are beautiful and your body is perfect the way that it is. Bodies and weights actually don't indicate your health at all. So really you should be going on how you feel. And if you actually are not feeling well, if that's what you can identify it as, is you don't feel well, please reach out to me. This is what I do. I love to help people eat better. But I also like to do a deeper dive into kind of like your mindset, which is what we're talking about today. Like all of those limiting beliefs, all of those thought patterns that you tell yourself. So not only can I help you eat better, and we can identify, some meals and foods that would feel really good for your body, and I can teach you how to eat intuitively and intentionally. We can also dive into your mindset and like, where did those beliefs come from, and how can we fix those? How can we help you look at yourself in a better light and make you feel more worthy of love and loving yourself? And then I also like to dive into the spiritual aspect and like the energetic aspect of taking care of your body and taking care of your health. So if you have any questions about anything I talked about today, or you just want to talk about food or anything really mindset related, nutrition, I would love to talk to you. So send me a message. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to pop into my stories and I'm going to drop in some of the pictures that I talked about on this live. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day and continue to have a great week. And I'll talk to you soon.